Hey everybody, my name is Metal Mary and I just moonwalked for the first time. Can you tell? So tonight we're gonna do a special EP that's a shorter version of the Wax to Grind Vinyl Oddcast. And what are we doing? We are celebrating the last full moon of 2020 with moon-themed picks. And we're gonna get right into it as soon as I find him.
Hey-o!
There he is.
Well, I figured you moonwalked in. I figured I would moonshine in. That's right, I had a little moonshine over there. And then I guess I kind of did the skinhead moon stomp. Yeah, I mean, what are some of your favorite moon songs? I mean, I can think of a bunch off the top of my head, like Bad Moon Rising by CCR, which is a great song.
One of the best and one of the biggest, probably. Moon Dance, Van Morrison.
Yeah, Moon Shadow, Cat Stevens.
Moon Shadow, well, Man on the Moon, R.E.M.
That's a song. How about Walking on the Moon by the Police?
Yep. That's a good one. Dancing in the Moonlight.
Dancing in, or are you talking about Dancing in the Moonlight?
Yeah, we got two choices in that one. We've got Thin Lizzy.
Lizzy and King Harvest.
King Harvest. That's right. Ooh, Hazel Atkins.
DPA on the Moon?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a nut. I don't know if that's actually about the moon. How about a great song, great soundtrack, terrible movie. Don't go see it. The follow-up to Purple Rain, Prince, Under the Cherry Moon.
Aha. Never saw it.
Good. Consider yourself lucky.
All right, I'll take that as a warning.
Okay.
Fair enough. Well,
and then any others? Iron Maiden, Moonchild?
Yeah, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son.
Yeah.
Dark Horse
That's
Candidate.
A good one.
I like it.
All right.
I think, well, I mean, there was a lot of doo-wop.
Sure. There's too much doo-wop. I mean, I have a lot of when I think of moon songs, I usually do think of doo-wop, like Victorians, Heartbreaking Moon, and Lenny Welch, Rocket to the Moon, or even Late Rising Moon. That's one of the few records I do have here with me by Earl Carey and the Blenders. But what about you?
Well, you mentioned doo-wop. I actually had one of my favorite picks, which is a version. It's a doo-wop version of Blue Moon by the Marcells from '61, which is a classic, and I think probably one of the best-known versions, if not the best-known version of that song, other than maybe Shauna not doing it in the movie Grease. I don't know. It was sort of a monumental scene. But that song was written in the '30s, and Mel Torme did a version of it, Frank Sinatra did a version of it, Billie Holiday did a version of it, Elvis did a version of it.
Damn.
But the Marcells really doo-wopped it up and made it a really upbeat song with amazing harmonies.
Of course, made a hit again in the 90s by New Edition. How about them apples?
And I'm sure it's still being covered by so many people to this day.
Yeah.
Because it's a great song.
What else are some of your personal favorite moon songs? I have a couple.
It seems to me like some of my favorite moon songs go back to '83 to about 85, coincidentally.
Okay.
I got some props here.
For example.
Props. Hey, let's start off with, Max and I were talking about this, off of the Ramones' 8th album, this is Too Tough to Die. This came out in 1984, Sire Records. This album was the lineup of Johnny, Joey, Dee Dee, and Richie Ramone, and it was supposed to be their throwback to them, more to the 70s sound, to the straight up, to the really aggressive street punk. The song that's on here that we are thinking of is Howling at the Moon, and it actually, to me, sounds pretty 80s.
There's some doo-wop influence in there.
Yeah, and there's even some doo-wop influence with that. There's some sha-la-la going on, as it does indicate in the title as well. But I do think I love the song. It was a great time. I got to see them on this tour in 1984 with Naked Raygun opening up, so it was very special for me. Love the song, had a video for it. And there you go. And it goes into the history books.
How about the B-side of Jumpin' Jack Flash? Rolling Stones' Child of the Moon. Great song. Of course, done by Cheater Slicks, I believe, did a cool version. I don't know. Underrated Stones song, if you ask me. Of course, it's a B-side, so maybe that's why. They also did Moonlight Mound a couple albums later, which is also a beautiful, great song.
So, okay, then I'm going to go back here. Now, this is 1985, so it's a little bit, we're jumping 1 year from my last pick. This is The Firm Okay, this was a supergroup that featured Jimmy Page on guitar, of course, Paul Rogers, Chris Slade on drums, and Tony Franklin, the master of bass, the master of the fretless on this, which is my favorite part of this record. The last song on this is called Midnight Moonlight. I think it clocks in just under about 9 minutes. So it's a really good ender. It goes up, it goes down. There's a climax at the end, everything you want in an album ender. But it was, as I found out recently and did not know, originally written by Jimmy Page to be an instrumental track called Swan Song on the Physical Graffiti record.
Nice.
So he sort of banked it, I guess, and then Paul Rogers heard it and wrote some lyrics to it, and it became the last song on this album, Midnight Moonlight by The Firm.
Well, if you know me, you know I like my obscure heavy rock 45s. There's one that whenever I think of Moon, I think of Moon Maiden by the Twigs. Now, this was a record, came on 2 labels simultaneously, SSS and the famous Jordan label where the Sonics and the Wailers were on it, which makes me think this was probably a Pacific Northwest band. I can't find any info about them, but this is a 1970 rocker. We'll link to it down below, and if you like yours 45s with a lot of fuzz and rock and drums, check it out. It's also comped, I believe, on a few fuzz guitars more, so you get the idea of what it's like. If you're into obscure garage rock, heavy rock, check it out.
I just heard it for the first time myself, and I'm stoked. I'm going back to the more obvious choices, going back to my teenage years again now to 1983, EMI, Seven and the Ragged Tiger, Duran Duran, New Moon on Monday. And one of the reasons I picked this was because, well, when I picked the other two, I figured let's stick with the same time frame here. And New Moon on Monday, obviously very popular as an MTV video, for those who remember, or for those who have researched, is also because in the video, they were playing basically French revolutionaries. And their group was called La Luna, as referenced in the song. So New Moon on Monday, La Luna. How could you not pick New Moon on Monday?
All right.
Ta-da.
My next song has Moon on the title. Not sure what it's about. I think of the lyrics. I hear nothing about the moon. But Moon Dance by Can. It's great. It's one of their shorter songs. It was a single in '73 first, and then later released on Future Days. A great song. Just a great, short, concise Can song that's always been a favorite.
This is not a song or record about the moon, okay? But I want you to tell me why I picked this record for this theme in this podcast. This is David Naughton, as he sang and starred in. He sang the theme song to a television show in the 70s called Making It. It was very popular on the dance floor. David Naughton, Moon theme.
So you want people to guess why you would pick that?
Yes.
What it has to do with the moon?
What
All right.
could this
I will
possibly
think about
have
that.
to do? Give me the link between this David Naughton Making It 12-inch single from the 70s
And the moon.
and the moon.
That's interesting.
So post in the comments section.
I might have to Google and cheat. I can't go without saying one of my favorite songs about the moon. Always been a favorite. It's funny yet poignant yet whatever. It's kind of more of a poem, but there is music behind it. It's from his first records called Small Talk at 125th and Lenox. It's Gil Scott-Heron, Whitey on the Moon. Whitey on the Moon. And if you haven't heard it, you need to hear it. It's only a couple of minutes. Definitely worth your time. Definitely a great song about the moon.
And-
more about the earth,
And
actually.
yes, and very poignant.
Well, I hope we
Yes,
covered
you
some
pointed
cool ones.
out.
What do you think?
Well, I think the coolest of all time and my favorite of all time will always be Bark at the Moon by Ozzy
classic.
Osbourne. I have to mention, I think my all-time favorite is Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne. LP released in '83. This is an EP released LP released in '83. Oh shit. Oh, Would it be a full moon if we didn't mention Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne? I don't think it would be. So we're going to mention that right now. That was in 1983, the full length. That was the first appearance of Jakey Lee, one of my favorites. And Tommy Aldridge played drums on that one. But masterful riff, one of my favorite of all time. Got to play it every time on the full moon. Well, really on any moon. Love it. Any moon you can bark at, right? Mm-hmm. So this is an EP version that came out that I'm holding on onto right now. This is an EP version that came out in Japan shortly after. It does feature the live version of Bark at the Moon, so that's a little bit special and cool, but we have to highlight Bark at the Moon by Ozzy. Come on, right?
And don't forget Harvest Moon, Neil Young, great song.
Absolutely, Harvest Moon. And speaking
we're off to the moon.
I think we need to go howl at the moon for a bit.
Ow!
The moon of Millvale. The werewolves of Millvale.
Moonvale.
Yes, and don't forget, put in the comments section any suggestions that you have.
There's so many.
Corrections you might have.
Department of Corrections.
Department of Corrections. And let us know about the David Naughton record. All right, guys? All right, cool. Everyone be safe. Go howl at the moon. We'll be back soon. Bye!
I'm moving to the moon to not catch COVID.
Did you hear that? I heard that.
Bomb, 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 dang, 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 ding, it on the blue moon, 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 blue moon, dip, 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 moon, 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 blue moon, dip, 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 moon, 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 dip, 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 bomb, 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 dang, 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 ding, it on the blue moon, moon, moon.